Happy Tuesday, group. We're going to read a book that's actually written by my husband Josh's uncle. This is called An Airport Secret, and it tells the story about the big airport in Bozeman, Montana. And it also kind of talks about Lewis and Clark a little bit, which we did for our social studies unit. So you guys should know a lot about this. Part 1, a long time ago. One day, Meriwether Lewis asked William Clark, "Would you like to go with me to look for an ocean?" William wondered, "Is this a long trip?" Meriwether Lewis told him, "It's a long, long way to the west." William thought, "Then we will have to cross some mountains." But he was excited and he told Meriwether Lewis, Yes, I'll go. It'll take a lot of time." They packed many things, and a compass was one of the most important. Next page. There were no cars. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark started walking. One worried, "I might get a blister on my feet." There were no airplanes, no trains or buses. Just a trail, and sometimes not even that. There were lots of horses. Sometimes they rode horses. William Clark wondered, "Will this horse buck me off?" Soon they were in a boat. Meriwether Lewis sighed, "I hope we don't crash on a rock." There were no hotels. Sometimes they slept in tents. "Oh, this wind is terrible," yelled Meriwether Lewis. "It's raining so hard," shouted William Clark. One night, the wind and the rain blew their tent over. They all got really wet. All their clothes were even wet. The next day, they had to wait for their clothes to dry. Meriwether was impatient. "We need to get going." Some nights they slept outside. The ground was hard. "It's so spectacular to look at the bright stars," enjoyed Meriwether. "I like the moon anytime, but especially when it is full." "All big and round," added William. "And there's the Big Dipper," pointed Meriwether, "and the North Star." They knew many constellations. There were no places to buy food. "Get some sticks and build a fire," Meriwether requested. Then he got a big, black, heavy cod iron kettle. He went to the river and got water. He took a drink. "It's rather warm," he noticed. Back at the fire, he put a chunk of deer meat in to boil. After a while, they sat on a log and ate. "I was so hungry that this tastes very good," William said happily. They both ate a lot, but not too much. "We will have enough for breakfast," smiled Meriwether, as he looked at the big, black, heavy iron kettle. "I like to chew the meat," muttered William as he gnawed away. After several days, they stopped to gaze at a wide, wide river. They stared and they stared and they watched it flow. This must be the largest river on the continent. Meriwether patted his arm muscles. "We will have to row with all our strength to get across it. Then we will have to travel up that river you see pouring out to the other side. That's what Thomas Jefferson wants us to do." Many days later, they went around a bend in the river. Meriwether shouted, Look, there's a Native American village. Let's visit them." The Native Americans had squash. "Can we buy some?" William asked hopefully. Meriwether showed them some bright, sparkly, shiny blue beads. "We want them too. They are beautiful," thought the Native Americans. So a trade was made. "We are happy," swirled in the minds of all. William and Meriwether ate some of the tasty golden squash that night. What a treat, they thought. They traveled for many days. "What was that?" said Meriwether. "Ouch, ouch, ouch, my toe." William looked down. "You stepped on a prickly pear cactus." Ouch. He carefully pulled the sharp thorns from the toe. Then he felt much better. One evening, William was dipping the big, black, heavy iron kettle into the river, and something bit his arm. He slapped his arm and just missed that pesky mosquito. One afternoon, they stopped and stared. "There is a mountain way out there," shouted Meriwether. "Just look at the snow on the peaks," said a bewildered William. "It's going to be very hard to pack all our things over those mountains." "Let's dig a hole and put some things in it. We can get them on our way back." Once they finished, they restored the ground so that no one could tell that there was a secret little underground burrow in there with all their stuff. "I have made notes so we can find it again," said William confidently. Oh, this looks like a rough journey. Several days later, they're in the midst of a treacherous travel. "Be careful crawling over that fallen tree," Meriwether cautioned. "The snow is so deep. The climb is so steep. It is hard for the horses, too," worried William. They worked and they got very tired. "I wish we had some warm food. I'm starving," moaned William. "Me too, so are the horses," said Meriwether, "but we have to keep going." They crossed the top of the mountains and started down the other side. It was still dangerous traveling. Wow, they saw a big river with many, many salmon, and they were so hungry that they ate way too many fish and got sick. As they recovered, William suggested, "Let's make a canoe." Soon they were guiding their new canoes down the river. The river got wider and wider. At last, something wonderful happened. "There's the ocean, there it is," shouted William. "We made it, we reached our goal," yelled Meriwether. They jumped and danced with joy, but they knew Thomas Jefferson had hoped the journey would have been easier than it was. Part 2, just a few years ago. Many, many years later, a dad called, "Come and get in the car." "I'm sure we have all the luggage," a mom hoped. The kids were excited. Ben clapped his hands and said, "I want to see where Meriwether and William paddled their canoe." Summer, a girl, sighed. "I wish we could go in a canoe." "Well, I'm just glad we don't have to walk," said Ben. "If we had taken an airplane, we could have been to the ocean in just a few hours," the dad said. But the mom quickly countered, "But we would not see all the things that those explorers did. I just hope we don't get lost." The dad responds with confidence, "That's why we're bringing our maps and the GPS." "Maybe we could ride the horses over huge mountains," Ben wished aloud. Summer laughed. "You would probably fall off." A bright neon sign displayed "Hotel, 5 miles." "Be sure there's a swimming pool, Dad," Summer begged. "And lots of video games," added Ben. "What I need is exercise equipment," the dad thought. After check-in, they crossed the street to a fine restaurant. Mom noticed, "It's great to have a nice white tablecloth." Summer was puzzled. "Why this lemon?" Mom said, "Ask your father." "I'll take the salmon," said the dad with his mouth watering. Ben was eager with chicken fried steak. Summer wondered, "Mac and cheese, please." "I'll just have a salad," Mom said. "I ate too many chocolates while we were traveling," and no one ordered any golden mushy squash. They stopped at the many places where Meriwether and William traveled. "I like this book about Sacagawea," begged Summer, as she held a necklace that was made of bright, shiny, sparkly blue beads. She also had an armhole of new clothes. I also want this book about plants and animals," Ben announced as he held 5 more books and 3 more caps. Mom beckoned, "Come over to the fort. I need another picture." Dad checked the cell phone for messages from the office. "Let's go into the museum. That'll be something fun to watch." More and more things got packed into the car, and eventually the car was so full you couldn't fit anything else in it. Then Mom suggested, "If we're going to enjoy the rest of our trip, we better mail some things home." "Or quit buying so much," Dad said. Summer chirped, "We ought to be like Meriwether and William and bury our stuff in a hole." "That's a great idea," said Ben. "With our GPS, we could find it again in a minute. Or we could give the coordinates to someone else and let them hunt for our buried vacation treasure." One day they went for a hike. "Ouch, ouch," yelled Ben. My toe, my toe." Mom looked. "You stepped on a prickly pear cactus. Now we'll have to pull out the sharp thorn." Then she covered it in some ointment and a Band-Aid. You need different shoes than flip-flops, she said, and you better stay on the path. That evening, Summer was watching ripples as the river swept past. She wanted to fish, but instead she cried to the dad, "Something just bit my arm." "It's a mosquito," the dad said. He put some antibiotic on it so that it would not get sore. "You better wear long sleeves," he warned. "Are we ever going to get to that mountain?" Summer groaned. "It has taken so long." "Well, just be glad you didn't have to climb over fallen trees with snow up to your chin," said Ben. "With more snow coming into your face, too," the dad added. "Oh, yes, and very little to eat." That would be so fun. All of a sudden, the car reached the top. Soon they were driving along a big, wide river, and not long after, they arrived at the ocean, with the roar of the waves pounding the huge rocks. They got out of the car, held hands, and danced in a circle with mist hitting their faces. They shouted, "Ocean in view, we made it! Cheers for Meriwether and William, and Thomas too," someone added. The next morning, their car returned to the east and started for home. "I'm hungry," cried Ben. "We all are," the dad said as he stopped at a fine-looking restaurant. Inside, a sign announced, "Today's special, Eggs Benedict." They all ordered the special because Ben's full name is Benedict, so they thought that was perfect. "This is a fun way to celebrate a wonderful trip," the happy dad said. "Well, it is summer," hinted the little girl. "Yes, summer," Mom promptly responded, "and we do love summer and summer very much." They crossed over the big mountains again, and Ben puzzled. "I can't remember where the three rivers came together. And I can remember the names of two of them. One is Jefferson, and another one is Madison. But I can't remember the other one." Summer chuckled. "Well, you bought so many boats, I'm sure you can find the name of one of them." So it turns out that the place where Lewis and Clark hid their supplies, that little hole where they stuffed their stuff underground, was in the airport, what's now the airport in Bozeman, Montana. So that's pretty cool. So every time you're there, you can think about that.